Technology is getting crazy. The amount of things that people are creating with it, the things that it's able to do, the jobs that it's starting to technically replace is crazy. And for one person, it helped them win an art contest. So a few days ago, there was a tweet posted that showed a message by someone from a Discord group that talked about a painting they did using Midjourney that allowed them to win a art contest. It said, "Hi everyone. After a 1-month hiatus, I have returned with an exciting announcement about my personal project I made using Midjourney. I have been exploring a special prompt that I'll be publishing at a later date. I have created hundreds of images using it, and after many weeks of fine-tuning and curating my gens, I chose my top 3 and had them printed on a canvas after upscaling with Gigapixel AI. I entered the Colorado State Fair Fine Arts Competition Digital Arts category. I won first place. Here are the results. I've set out to make a statement using Midjourney in a competitive manner, and wow, I could not be more excited about having won with my favorite piece, Theater d'Opera Spatial." And then the person who posted that screenshot said, "Yeah, that's pretty fucking shitty." And then you had other people replying back saying, "We're watching the death of artistry unfold right before our eyes. If creative jobs aren't safe for machines, then even high-skilled jobs are in danger of becoming obsolete. What will we have then?" The bigger issue is presumably the judges didn't realize it was AI and still thought it was good enough to win. Doesn't bode well for human versus AI illustration discussion. And then someone else said, "It's not art because anyone can make it. Question, and any caveman could pick up a piece of charcoal since the beginning of time. AI is just another tool. If you feel threatened by it, you're not a very good artist in the first place." Now, of course, when it comes to Twitter, it's the cesspool of the internet, is where you get all the worst takes possible, but there are gems spread throughout some of them. Personally, I don't have an issue with AI generated art, but I believe that should be its own separate category. To me, it doesn't make sense, and it seems unfair to have someone release AI generated art and submit it to a competition when the rest of the artwork is done by hand by other artists. Now, looking into this more, I did come across other threads and discussions that talked about there are artists who have other people draw their pictures for them, and they give them words and ideas, and they're trying to sculpt it. And then people are trying to draw up comparisons with, like, hey, this artist is submitting works for the AI, so the AI is making the picture. It's kind of the same thing, right? And so then you have the artist trying to tell their intern or their assistant to, you know, what to draw and the keywords and what they're envisioning in their mind. It's kind of like the same thing, when in reality it isn't. Whereas you have a human drawing this picture and then you have an AI drawing this one. It's not the same realm. It's not the same category. And of course, there's a discussion that he entered it into a digital arts competition, which technically it's digital art, but it wasn't actually drawn by an actual human. It was done by AI. There's so many discussion and so many different points that could be made about here, and I'm not here to argue which one is right, which one is wrong. Personally, my opinion is, if it's done by AI, have it go in its own category. If it's done by an actual human, then of course, if it's drawn by a human, then the rest of the artwork that people have submitted should be drawn by a human as well too. Just like if it's done by AI, then the rest of the artwork is going against should have been done by AI as well too. I don't believe in this middle ground of, well, they use the AI and it's the tool, just like these artists are using a tool to create their artwork. It's not the same fucking thing. I don't agree with that take, and I think it's stupid. It's not the same thing. When I stayed on Twitter too long today, I saw someone arguing saying, well, are you saying that poetry is not art then? I was baffled. I was like, what in the fuck are you talking about? This is a fucking picture. These are fucking artworks. What the fuck does poetry have to do with putting words into AI? Is not poetry. That's not the same thing. I was so baffled by that. But that's what I get for using Twitter more than 5 seconds. Inherently, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of art pieces that look like dog shit that's in museums. I'm not really too big fan of them. But I will say, to have AI generated art versus human hand-drawn art, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. For me, because I love technology, I think it's a cool feat. I think it's great. I think it's a good accomplishment and achievement for what it's worth. But on the same token, I think it's unfair as well too. It should be in its own category. It shouldn't be something that goes against other people's arts that's actually been hand drawn. It just doesn't add up. And then I think the biggest thing that came from this, which is why I even wanted to make this video, is the discussion of, do you have your regular jobs still? Are they being replaced? Are robots taking over? Is AI taking over? Are they replacing? We all know about DALL-E 2 and how that's been making crazy shit. And so now you have artists and illustrators, they're like, fuck, do I even have a job left? This goes back to the same conversation I had in my previous video talking about the AI generated rapper. Yes, that one was a fluke. It's a fake. It's not really that great to begin with, but it's coming. It's gonna happen. But the thing is, I feel like for maybe a corporate level, yes, those jobs might get replaced one day eventually with AI. But I believe from an artistic point of view, you can't replace that. A machine can't replace artistic integrity and artistic touch. It just doesn't happen. Yes, they can create cool looking things. They can create shit that's crazy, things that we can't even think of. But there's something about artistic touch, a feeling. It's just something you can tell that can't be replaced by a robot. It doesn't happen. No matter how many formulas, algorithms that you might create, it can't be replaced. Now, I do believe these jobs one day might get replaced, but I don't think it's going to be to the severity that artists believe it will be. I believe it's going to be one of those things where you have specific uses for AI and you have specific uses for humans. It's one of those things where I believe it could coexist. Now, the statement could age like milk and artists end up becoming irrelevant in the future and they just end up going into trash. I doubt that though, but hey, anything is possible with AI at this point, right? Just to show you how crazy AI has gotten, look at this. I came across this tweet earlier today, and this is AI just changing her outfit on the fly. That is just crazy. Technology is getting crazy, man. This is the type of shit that we dream about, things that were like, oh man, you know, what if I could have like an AI change my clothes while I'm walking through in a video or something, you know, something crazy like that. This is that. This is the early demo, of course, right? But just imagine this being refined. The future that we're going to see with shit like this is fucking mind-blowing to me. Anyways, I just want to talk about this. I think the idea of AI technology, the way things are advancing is crazy, and we're living in a very specific time point before a lot of things start to really shift. Like, things are changing at a rapid pace when it comes to technology, and with AI and the breakthroughs and the things that we are seeing being done with AI is fucking crazy. And so with the way things are progressing, it's really starting to make people take a step back and wonder, like, hey, is this AI really going to be able to take my job one day? Am I going to be out of a job because of an AI? And it's a legitimate discussion. But again, from my perspective, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to take people out of their jobs next year, the next 5 years, hell, even the next 10 years. Like, let's say for a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber who wants some thumbnails made for their YouTube video. Of course, you can put in a bunch of specific keywords over and over and over, or you want emotes done. But what's the chances of you really getting that result first time, second time, third time? Actually, that would be kind of a cool idea, though. I'm not going to lie. I thought about once if I had DALL-E 2 or what's this, Midjourney, I would sit there and just say, make me a clickbait thumbnail. Like, that would be actually kind of fucking cool. And hey, it's my idea. Don't fucking take it. But anyways, I thought it was just interesting. It's a good discussion to have. I like seeing technology progress. I like seeing just how things are advancing. And so I just want to share this with y'all, open up the discussion. What do you think? Do you think AI is going to take over? Do you think it's going to replace artists, musicians? You know, is it possible? Again, like I said, I think it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Have a great day. Yeah.